All right, I guess, well, let's talk about the interesting topic of Web 2.0 this week and this topic. And what's interesting is how it's banned in schools, and it's really kind of difficult for students to interact with it during school time and such. And I'm just interested in thinking about what this means for us as teachers, and why would we be discussing this in the first place?
Yeah, I think a lot of teachers need to look at possibilities, not just what is there at the moment as well. And also, if you look at what children are engaged in, all of them, well, a vast number have got social networking sites already set up, that they're bringing that capital to school, but they're leaving it in their virtual school bag, aren't they, that they can't open. So if it's what the children are interested in and it engages them, they're obviously getting something for using that literacy, but we're not privileging that in the classroom. So yeah, I'm interested in what the possibilities are for teachers in how to teach that, given that background.
So like the teacher's position is actually changing in terms of how teachers view learning, not only in the school but outside of the school, and those literacy practices that kind of connect or interconnect with this sort of...
With that, yeah, I think teachers' practices have changed over the times. Think of how classrooms have all been in rows once upon a time, with the chairs all in rows. Now it's all group work, so we're good at changing spaces. I think what Web.2 looks at is also changing times of teaching. Like all of you guys are doing OUA, which is a classic example of a time shift. You're not sitting face to face. And I think maybe that pedagogy might also come into classrooms a bit more. And I wonder how many teachers, innovative teachers, have got Web 2.0 sites up that they totally teach with outside of the classroom, and for administrative network reasons they may not be able to access it inside.
And I think that's another thing to be aware as teachers and positioning themselves within the Web 2.0 is to look at, for example, I told you about the teacher that was actually bombarded by students on their personal MySpace page, and something to be aware of as teachers to think about that as you're creating these sort of spaces outside of the sort of administration of either the university or the public school or the private school.
Yeah. And I suppose the other thing to identify is maybe you can bring this into the classroom in a confined sort of way, using next-gen modems and roving wireless technology, where you're not bound by the administrative understandings of the network, but you can actually bring that stuff up on your own laptop, put it up on the electronic whiteboard and go through it with the children and unpack some of the things that they might not get unpacked in their bedroom at night time. So, and I suppose the way to do that would be to actually flag with the principal, is it okay if I do this? These are the sites I'm going to show. These are the ethical principles I'm going to go through, and these are the things I'm going to do if there's some sort of risk goes on. And so you're not throwing the whole thing up in the air, and you're just slowly introducing that. And maybe that's I see Web 2.0 technology, because it's banned in schools at the moment, as the next metaphor of group work, and the chairs being all in a nice little circle. At the moment they're all in a row with this Web 1.0, and we haven't even moved to Web 2.0. Maybe the teachers who are going to introduce this stuff will be the innovative ones.
Yeah, I think the last thing that I was again, coming from a critical perspective, is looking at how these networks are set up and who's creating these networks and why. And there are some other ulterior motives of sort of corporatization and commodification within creating these, meaning centralizing databases of people and information and stuff like that. So I guess for us teachers is being aware or critical, or just having those discussions with students about, hey, there's something larger on the outside that we need to kind of think about as well, and when creating these sort of networks.
Yeah, I suppose the underlying question I'd be getting the children to be asking is, what are we consuming while we're producing? Right. That's probably the big thing, and I think that will watch this space, because it will change over time.
Yeah.